Hello students. Today in your geometry class, you're going to be working on inequalities in triangles. So let's try the warm-up. This would be a really good time for you to pause your screen and try working on these problems on your own. Hopefully you've paused your screen and now you're coming back to check your answers. So for number 1, you should have realized that x is the exterior angle theorem for 60 and 40. Therefore, x is equal to 60 plus 40, which is 100 degrees. For number 2, you know that 120 degrees is the exterior angle for x and 70. Therefore, it's 120 equals x plus 70. Then to solve for x, we're going to have to subtract 70 to both sides, and we'll find that x is equal to 50 degrees. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to make inferences on the relation between triangle sides and their respective angles. Theorem 510 states that if two sides are not congruent, then the greater side will have the greater angle. Theorem 511 states that if two angles are not congruent, then the greater angle will have the greater side. So to put this in English, for Theorem 510, it says that if two sides are not congruent, so the sides, if they're not congruent, for example, AB and BC, clearly these aren't congruent because one side is labeled 5 and one is 6. Then, with that said, it says the greater side will have the greater angle. So since 6 is greater than 5, then the angle opposite that, as noted by these little lines that I'm drawing, the side opposite angle A is 6, and the side opposite angle C is 5. So if 6 is greater than 5, then their corresponding angle is going to be greater than the other one. So angle A is greater than angle C. For Theorem 511, it states that if two angles are not congruent, then the greater angle will have the greater side. So if we look at the triangle on the right, it says that if the two angles are not congruent, then the greater angle will have the greater side. So we have 40 degrees, 60 degrees, and 80 degrees. So the side opposite 80 degrees, because 80 is the largest angle, is x. That means x will be the greatest side, z will be the second greatest side, and y will be the third or smallest side. One more theorem. Now it's Theorem 512. It's the triangle inequality theorem. It says that the sum of any two sides must be greater than the third. If it does not, it is not a triangle. So let's put that into words a little bit. So if we have segment AB, line segment AB, and we label that 3, and we say that BC is 5, and if we move this theorem down really quick. Now, in order for this to be a triangle, let's just put a fake number in there, 6. Now, it says the sum of any two sides must be greater than the third. So let's just, for the record, pick the two smallest sides, 3 plus 5. Now, in order for this to be a triangle, the sum of those two sides must be greater than the third. So 3 plus 5, which is 8, is in fact greater than 6. So if this is true, it should work for the other two angles as well. 5 plus 6 is 11. Well, that's greater than 3. And 3 plus 6 is 9, and that's greater than 5. So for example 1, we're going to have to explain why the measure of angle 1 is greater than the measure of angle 2. So, hopefully you realize that you have a triangle built in here. So we're going to outline that really quick. We have this triangle that we're composing. That's composed of angle 2, 4, and the angle that's supplementary to angle 1. Now remember that angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 4. So if that's the case, then angle 1 has to be greater than the measure of angle 2 because it is angle 2 and angle 4 combined. For example 2, it says name the angles in order of their measure from least to greatest. Well, we know that in a right triangle, the hypotenuse is always the longest side, and that's the side opposite 90 degrees. Therefore, GH is going to be the greatest. And we know HI is 4, and GI is 6. So HI is the least, GI is the second, and GH is the greatest. For example 3, you're asked to determine if those sides will make a triangle. So, if we take 2 and 3, that has to be greater than 6. And unfortunately, it's not. Therefore, this is not a triangle. For B, we're going to do the same thing. 3 plus 5 is greater than 7. That's true. So 5 plus 7 should be greater than 3. That's also true. And 3 plus 7 is greater than 5. Now because it's true for all instances, then we can say that in B, this is a triangle. Now it's your turn. Try solving these 3 problems and writing them down in your notes. That's all for now. I'll see you guys next time.